everyone. Welcome to the Performer's Guide. Get your act together 21-day personal challenge. Today is day 4, and we will be focusing on our alarms and notification systems. So we're right at the beginning of the program. We're just getting settled into our habit tracking. We're just getting settled into our no-no list. We're probably reviewing the workbook and just getting used to that portion as well. And so the next main component is, as we're getting our act together, as we're setting goals, as we're going through the program, we're going to need to make sure we show up to things on time, right? Be it waking up on time, be it showing up to class on time, showing up to a gig on time. I want to know, comment down below, how's your time management? Do you feel like you're on time for things often? Do you feel like you're running late for things often? If you feel like you're often running late, this program is going to be great for you, this module. So this is an interactive one. We're going to grab our phones and we're going to do it together. So there's 2 components to this. There is our alarm setting, and then there is the notifications. And so we want to turn on alarms and we want to turn off notifications. Okay? So first step is our alarm system. Setting up our alarms is going to help us show up to things on time. It's going to help clarify our mind. We don't have to think about these things. We won't have to hold on to more things to think about. It'll free up space for us to think about other things. It's also going to give us more spaciousness. If we're showing up to things on time, if we're giving ourselves time to prepare, then we will be able to show up to things on time and not late. So the first alarm we're going to set up is our morning alarm. What time do you want to wake up? I like to wake up around 8 o'clock a.m. And I recommend giving yourself 2 hours before whatever your first activity is. So if it's going to work, for me, I like to go to work at 10 a.m. So I set my alarm for 2 hours before that. So comment below what time you want to get up in the morning. I'm going to get up at 8. And what I like to do is, if I wake up before 8, then I have time, free time. I can do whatever I'd like. I can watch a movie, I can read, I can sleep more, I can play on my phone, I can do anything I want, but then when my alarm goes off, then I start my morning routine. And then if I've overslept, then my alarm will go off at my normal time of 8 a.m. And so this helps to train your brain to wake up before your alarm, and it also trains your brain to think differently about the way an alarm sounds, the way you interpret an alarm when you wake up. So the goal of this is to, instead of feeling like, oh, I've overslept and man, I'm hitting this alarm and dragging ass, the goal is to get ourselves into a routine so that if the alarm goes off, we feel, oh shit, I've slept in. I've slept longer than I normally do. This is great. And it'll feel like a positive morning, as opposed to feeling like you're just pulling yourself out of bed. Yes? So between the first alarm and the second alarm is when we do our morning routine. And so whatever this is for you, look on your habit tracker. You'll have set out some dedicated tasks. Time yourself. How long does it take to do those on average? And that'll give you an idea of how long you need for your morning routine. And then I will set a work alarm. So I set my work alarm for 9:45 because I do live videos or group coaching or private clients starting at 10 a.m. every day. So I know at 9:45, if I'm not paying attention, that gives me 15 minutes to go, oh, okay, I got to go prep and get ready for the call. If I just set it right for 10 o'clock when my class is going to start, if I'm out and about and not home, that's not going to be helpful for me. I'm still going to be late, right? So we want to set things 15 minutes ahead of time, or longer depending on how much time you need. Maybe you need 30 minutes. Maybe you just need 10 minutes. So just figure that out for yourself, and you're going to set an alarm to give you some transitional time before going into work. Yes? So comment below and let me know what time you want to go to work. Then I like to schedule a lunch break because I will often, especially if I'm doing computer work, I'll just go, and I won't even think about the day or the time or eating or my health or taking care of myself in any way. I'll just like work till midnight sometimes if I don't set alarms. So I set an alarm at 2:30 is my lunchtime. And if I get hungry before then I'll get hunger signals. They'll let me know, okay, maybe I should take a break sooner. But if I don't, then by 2:30, I have an alarm that goes off. It reminds me to take all of my medications, which I tend to take in the middle of the day, except for my nightly sleep ones. And it reminds me to eat lunch, meditate, and kind of take some personal time for myself in the middle of the day. So let me know what time you would like to take a break, go to lunch. How long is your lunch break for? Then I set another alarm because I tend to go back to work around 4 or 5, depending on the day. So I have another alarm go off around 3:45 that'll remind me to get back to work. And so that'll allow me when I'm taking a break to really just fully take a break. I can get completely immersed in whatever I'm doing because I know I'll be reminded to go back to work again later. And then I have a nightly routine. So my nightly routine changes. It either starts at 7 or 8, depending on the time change and how late it gets dark. I notice when it gets dark later, my night routine sort of shifts later as well. So just be mindful of when you want to start your nightly routine. And then I have double me. So then we have our time between dinner and bedtime, and that's our nightly routine, right? So dinner is usually the beginning of the nightly routine for me, and then I will ease into my nightly routine. And then sometimes I have an alarm set to remind me to go to bed, depending on if it's a very important morning. But for the most part, I'm pretty tired by the end of the day, and I'm mostly trying to keep myself awake rather than reminding myself to go to sleep. But perhaps you are a night owl. Maybe you're somebody who accidentally stays up till 4 a.m. or way too late. It might be a good idea to set an alarm to remind you to go to bed during that time. Yes? So this series of alarms, having them set, will greatly impact your productivity. It'll make you look more professional. You're going to show up for things on time. You're going to have more spaciousness through your day. Setting your alarms is extremely important and very necessary to make sure that you're showing up for things on time. So the next thing you can do with your alarms is, like on my phone, I can set an alarm for a specific day at a specific time. It doesn't necessarily have to happen weekly. So anytime I get something pops up into my day or my calendar, I immediately put it into my alarms to remind me, okay, wait, I just agreed to do something in a half an hour. How often are we thinking, oh, I just talked to them. I've got it in my mind. I literally just talked to them yesterday. I don't need another reminder. Wrong. You do. You need another reminder. You probably need 2 reminders. Sometimes I'll have an alarm go off and then I'll still space out afterwards. And I have another alarm to remind me, like, bitch, go to work. So maybe you need a snooze button as well. We're going to start to monitor and record the way that we physically react to our alarms, the way that we engage with our alarms. Are we blowing through the alarms and then like ignoring them? Are we setting the alarms at incorrect times? We want to be really flexible with this process because it does take a few times of getting your alarm calculations down. Like this series took me probably 2 or 3 goes of it, of me thinking I wanted to wake up earlier or later, or start later, go to bed later, anything. You can just change it up through the process of doing it. And remember, we want to be gentle with ourselves. This isn't a point of judgment. This is a point of reflection and improvement of, okay, maybe I'm showing up to things late. I'm missing things, missing calls, showing up late to gigs. I need to set better alarms and give myself more time to achieve my goals. Yes? So then the second part about this is our notifications. And so there's a few different ways that we can turn off our notifications or limit the notifications. And so I have a lot of notifications limited on my phone because I get really bad anxiety and I get ADHD. And so I'll get very distracted. If something comes in and I have to like shift my perspective, it will throw off my workflow. So if you're somebody that struggles with ADD, if you struggle with task management in any way, turn off your notifications and limit the amount of input you're getting while you're doing work. Okay. One thing to recognize is that when you turn off your notifications, you won't be notified of things, right? So you then have to integrate it into your routine to check your messages, to check the things that you need to do, because otherwise you might just miss things on that end as well. So setting aside dedicated time to checking your messages and things that you might have been notified for will be helpful, and try not to get into a habit loop of checking obsessively, which sometimes happens to me because I have no notifications on and I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Sometimes it can lead to me like obsessively checking over and over, and I have to nip myself in the butt. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm going to set aside time. I'll look at it at the end of the hour. And I'll give myself some time, or I'll look at it at 5 p.m. or something. So setting aside dedicated time to checking your notifications. One type of notification that you can have on your phone is the sounds. So I turn all sounds off. No typing sounds, no call sounds, no text message sounds, no system sounds, nothing. The only thing that makes a sound is my alarm. So when a sound goes off, I am alert, and I know that that is an important notification that I need to pay attention to. So step one is turning off your sound notifications, turning off the vibration notifications, turning it all down. Next are the different types of notifications. So there's a few different types of notifications you can get. The first is on the front screen of your phone. So there is a setting within your phone. Every phone is different, but you want to find the setting where it talks about your lock screen. And in there, there's a whole notification section, and there's a lock screen notifications. And you can have it so it shows you your full notifications. You can set it so it shows you the notifications but not the details. And then you can also set it to no notifications whatsoever. I personally like to have no notifications, because if I'm just like going to check my time, I don't want something popping up notifying me of something that might completely change my mood or my direction or my focus in that moment. I just want to see what time it is, right? So I turn off all notifications on my home screen. The next type of notification that you have is a push notification. So the push notification can show up on your home screen, but it also is what pops up on your screen while you're in the middle of working, and it'll just have a pop-up that pops up. And so you want to turn those off. We don't need things popping up randomly while we're trying to do work. Mitigate those, okay? And then the third one is in the drop-down menu. And so you can see I don't have any notifications in my drop-down menu because I've turned them all off. And the best way to do that is as they come in, a push notification will come in, and then it'll turn into a drop-down notification. And if you push and hold on the notification, it'll give you the opportunity to stop that notification there. You can also go into your app setting. And so all of your apps are housed in like a store or its own little folder. And in there, you can turn off manually all of the notifications for things that are just not important, that you don't need to be getting push notifications for. Man, sometimes I'm on calls and doing screen shares with clients, and I just see their push notifications, and I'm like, holy shit, is that what's happening on your phone all day, every day? No wonder you're feeling disorganized and distracted and unfocused and unable to get things done. I would too if I had things popping up in my visual and auditory senses all day, every day. That would completely overwhelm me. So we're going to go in, we're going to turn off our lock screen notifications. We're going to turn off our push screen notifications. We're going to turn off our drop down notifications. And we're going to turn off all of our app notifications. You can keep the ones on that you feel are important, but for me, none. None are on because I have set aside time to look through them, and perhaps you want to keep some up, and that's perfectly fine. Whatever works for you will be helpful for you, and you can go ahead and do that. So your homework for this module is to set up your alarms. I want you to take a screenshot of your alarm setup and comment it down below. And then also turn off all of your notifications. And I don't know how to take a screenshot of that, but just when you post your alarms, just let me know that you also turned off all of your notifications. And if you have any questions about how to set up notifications or turn off notifications or how to set up your alarms, comment below and let me know. And we can set up a Q&A call and I can help you set up all of your alarms. So that's it. It's a pretty short module. This task should only take, 30 minutes. Set up your alarms, turn off the notifications, and this will help set you up for success to get your act together in 2023. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.